Hey there folks, it's Joe, aka the Beardy Wine Guy here, making wine a little bit less scary. It's a catchphrase, we're going to stick with it, it's already gone too far now. We're in lockdown 3, the hat trick, but I've been working on a new series for you folks. It's a series about French wine. I'm going to call it the Beginner's Guide to French Wine. I don't want to be too condescending. And the reason why I've done this is that a lot of people, including myself, find French wine often confusing, frustrating, for a number of reasons. Sometimes because of the confusing labelling, and sometimes it's the supposed ego about the superiority of the product and the fact that you should probably know about it, which, you know, not everyone does. You really have to read into these things to know about them. What it does have, though, is a staggering tradition and history. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of producing and making wine. A massive variety of grapes and winemaking styles, and some of the finest wines on the planet that don't necessarily have to break the bank. Now, Christmas has come and gone. We've decimated the cheese boards. Remember, kids, cheese boards are for life, not just for Christmas. And great wines that pair with cheese boards, as I've been telling people all throughout December when we were open as the shop, it's the Bordeaux red wines. The Bordeaux red wines go fantastically with cheese boards. Now, in the UK, we have another word for them. We call them clarets. Claret. I don't think they do this in any other part of the world. It's very, very strange. Before you answer, it's not the colour. Okay, but the colour is claret, but that's not the reason why it's known as claret. It goes a little bit deeper than that, politically and historically. So, in the first episode of our Beginner's Guide to French Wine, we're going to answer the question, why are Bordeaux red wines known as clarets? So, first things first, Bordeaux's in France. You know it, I know it. It's in the southwest, and it's a port city based on a river, the River Garonne. And I'm going to hear sniggering because, yeah, my French pronunciation isn't the best, but it's okay. So it's on the River Garonne, and it belongs to part of the Gironde estuary. Now, the Romans first hit that spot up. They grew their own wines, mainly for their own use. It wasn't a particularly profitable business, growing and selling wine that far back. But what it was good for was for trading. Especially, there's a big bend of the river that goes around Bordeaux, and this was great for ocean ships. It was deep enough that they could get right inland and trade. So Bordeaux became an extremely important trading post because once you go down the river a little bit further, you can get to the Mediterranean and also up to the northern markets of Europe as well. So very, very... When the Roman Empire collapsed, the trade collapsed, essentially. The trade collapsed, but in 1151, things changed for the better for the area. Henry II... or the future Henry II, our boy Henners. He's also known as Henry Plantagenet. I think his mum called him that. But Henry Plantagenet got hitched. It was one of these political marriages. He got married to a beauty called Eleanor of Aquitaine. Leave it for you to decide from the image as to... ascertain her beauty, but it was very important politically and for England because as part of the dowry, the kind of the I won't say reward, but the gift that was given for the wedding was the Duchy of Aquitaine, and this was where modern day Bordeaux and La Rochelle are now. It was its own kind of independent fiefdom It's this independent state. So it meant that England had set up shop in the heartland of France. Now, at this time, the common style of wine was called Claret. I think you can start to make connections. It was called Claret. It was a rose-coloured, kind of dusty, poor quality swill, essentially. It went sour after a few months of fermentation, but it was cheap. And if I know anything about the English, we like cheap. And if you can get drunk on it, we like it even more. Also, the city's winemakers gave the English a really good tariff for trading the wine and buying the wine. So we filled our boots, massively filled our boots. Now, by the end of the 14th century, there was enough Bordeaux wine going into that country, going into the UK, for every man, woman and child to have 6 bottles each. That's how much was being exported. An insane amount, and it you wouldn't even think about it nowadays in terms of the population of the UK. There's no way that would happen. And it's quite weird, the political, the ways that politics and taste kind of go together, especially back then, especially kind of, we call it the Middle Ages. So, you know, one of our lot married a Spanish king's daughter, a Spanish princess. We're all on the sherry. Dutch prince finds his way to the throne. We're on to the gin. And now we're trying wine. Good things never last, though. France had been looking at all of this wine going out and all the money that was being made and the kind of the prestige, and went, we're not having any of this. We're going to take it back. And thus started the 100 Years' War. Funnily enough, it wasn't 100 years, it was about 116 years. 1337 to 1453. So the 116 Years' War, it should have been called. And of course, France emerged victorious, took back control of Bordeaux, and the flow of wine dried up. We weren't getting any of it. Why were they going to sell it to us? I mean, come on. We've just been in a 100+ year war with them. So we went further afield. We went looking in Portugal for our wines. Bordeaux still had to sell their wine to someone, so they started dealing with the Dutch. Now, England and France had on and off again kind of warlike relationship, pretty bitter, for about 400 years. And then in the 16th century, something changed, and Claret was started to be sent to the English again. You know, you can't hold us back too long on getting hold of our booze. So there we have it, the rise of Claret. And how it became popular in Britain. However, it isn't the wine that we know today, this poor quality kind of rosé coloured, compared to the very deep and complex reds that we get from Bordeaux nowadays. So in the next video, we're going to be looking at the transformation from the poor quality wine to the higher quality wine, and all of the connotations that came with that, the status and the wealth that was associated with them. And it comes down to one man that is a bit of a ledge in my eyes. So check out the second video. I'll end by saying that Bottles Wine Shop is still open. Will be open after the first week of January as a retail space, not as a bar, unfortunately, due to Tier 3, but we can still operate as a retail space. And also we have the online wine shop. If you're local, you can get deliveries to your house if you spend over £50. And if you're not local, then we have shipping fees, which are all explained on the website. Check out all my social media. It's all going to be in the description down below and at the end of the video. And I just wanted to give a big shout out to a book that I've been reading, which kind of prompted me to make this video. It's Oz Clarke's 100 wines that shaped history, or something along those lines. I'll leave a link there as well. It's a brilliant read. I just wanted to give it a heads up there as well. Most of all, stay safe, look after each other, and I'll see you next time. Ciao for now.